right.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Ryan Arnold, aka Demon Master Reviews, and I got Metal Ben here, and we are back for part 2 of the Judas Priest deep dive. So obviously, let's get right into it. We did the introductions in the last one. Let's get right into it. Obviously, we left off with Defenders of the Faith, and they went into a much more different direction at this point. Originally, they were going to make this a double album that was going to be called Twin Turbos, but unfortunately, the label denied them and said, "No, you can't do that. You have to separate them." And in turn, they recorded them, basically recorded them at the same time. So the first outing of all this, one side is the light, fluffy, poppy stuff. The other is kind of the straightforward, the more like kind of more metal stuff. So obviously, let's talk about the light, fluffy, and pop one. Turbo.
All right, there we go. Turbo.
Yes.
All right, so Turbo came out. Let me find my dates here.
Yep, it's 1986, I believe.
Yes. Came out in 86. I just don't remember what month in 86. But we're going to find out here in a minute. Okay. So this follows up Defenders of the Faith, which was a badass, just heavy metal album.
Yep, you go from the highest of highs with that one, and then you put something like this out. Like,
ain't this fucking weird? Okay, so Turbo came out the same day as WrestleMania 2 on April 7th, 1986.
Yeah, by Columbia Records.
Yep. Of course, produced by Tom
It does
Allman.
say, it says, the album is notable for the band's change to a commercial glam metal sound that had them using synthesizers for the first time. That's basically the summary of this album.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so you got 10 tracks, clocking at 40 minutes and 58 seconds. And we're going to get into this, okay? I remember when I first heard this album back in the day, I fucking hated it. I hated it. I'm like, what the hell is this? Where's my Judas Priest? Where's my heavy metal Judas Priest at? But how does a 46-year-old metal band feel about this today? Well, you're going to find out right now. Okay, Turbo Lover.
Yep.
First track. Man, when I heard this back in the day, I thought this was trash. I'm like, what is this? I mean, over time, I would say it's still not a great song, but it doesn't annoy me as bad compared to back then. I mean, it sounds great live. It does sound great live. It gets the women dancing, so that's kind of cool. But does that necessarily make it a great song, though? I'm going to say no. Like I said, there's parts in the track that are good, but I'm still annoyed by the chorus. She's my turbo lover.
Yeah, I remember, especially you had so many other better stuff that came out in 86. I mean, obviously, the aforementioned Master of Puppets from Metallica, Somewhere in Time from, which I think Iron Maiden were also kind of incorporating synth at this point, around this time as well. But at least they handled it a lot better than Priest.
Well, yeah, and that's a good point, because around this time, too, you're having thrash metal come up. You're having, like, heavier, more aggressive music coming up. And you'd think Judas Priest would, like, go in that direction. Well, it didn't happen, obviously, but yeah. Turbo Lover, I still cannot stand this song, though, for the most part.
Fair enough.
Track 2, Locked In, it's whatever. Just kind of a generic hair metal type of song. Private Property, man, this track is just terrible. Parental Guidance, another track that's annoying. Oh, no. Or however.
Oh, this is kind of, I feel like with that name, I'm thinking, that's a nod to the PMRC people.
It is, but man, it's so damn poppy sounding. We don't need no parental guidance here. It's got a really
It's like,
annoying.
yeah, well, the only thing about that is it's an FU. It's a middle finger to the PMRC basically at the time. Like, yeah, FU people, we ain't doing what you tell us to do.
Right on. Just wish the track was heavier.
Yeah, exactly. I wish it was heavy. You look at the song and I'm like, oh, it's a big fuck you, but the sound is.
All right, so then we get track 5, Rock You Around the World. All right, now this track actually starts.
I'll clarify you. Rock you all around the world.
All right, Rock You All Around the World, yes. This track starts out sounding really good, but then it gets annoying fast.
Yep.
It's got an annoying chorus. Like at first,
it's one of the shorter songs on here at the very least, so it doesn't stay long.
Right. But no, at first it starts out like a blazing heavy metal song. It's like, yeah, there's my priest. But then it goes downhill fast.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the second half of this album. You basically see me shit on every track on the first half, so is the shitting on this album going to continue? Well, let's find out. Out in the Cold, the best song on this album. I actually love this song. No, it's not heavy, but man, the synths and everything works great in this song.
Yep.
And it's got a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's the longest song on here. It's 6:27.
Yeah, Out in the Cold, man, easily the best track on here, I think. Wild Nights, Hot and Crazy Days. What the hell's going on here?
They're trying to top Crazy Nights from Kiss, and that hasn't even come out yet.
No. I'm thinking to myself when I'm listening to this, did fucking Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley write this fucking song?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, not a good song, just generic crap. Hot for Love. Actually, this is one of the tracks that kind of grew on me. I kind of like this song. It's kind of catchy. I do like this one. And to me, the second best track on this album, Reckless. I do actually like this song. So there's 3 tracks on this album I like.
Yeah, Warhammer, I will agree with you. Yeah, this is when they start using... I think when I was listening to Defenders, there were some nods to it, but this is the first legitimate album where they're starting to use the synthesizers pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But continue, Ben.
All right, so yeah, like I said, Reckless, Hot for Love, and Out in the Cold. I do like those tracks. The rest of the album is just cheap. It's generic. It's not the Judas Priest I want to hear.
Yes.
Granted, it got him women at the time. It got him a little bit more success.
Yep, but this is this
is not Judas Priest.
Yes. What would you give this album? Rating wise?
A 5 out of 10.
So this would be basically the worst one from them.
So far, yes.
Yeah, so far, pretty much. I think for me, if I was listening to this, yeah, I would probably agree with you on that. I think the only thing I've ever listened to from this album would have been Turbo Lover. And I was like, well, this is kind of catchy, but that's the only thing I have heard from this album. And I will mention to everybody here, I'm not doing all of their albums. Ben's doing has been doing all of them. I only do because I'm not the biggest Priest fan. So I do want to mention that, but obviously with this album, the only thing I have heard was the pseudo title track Turbo Lover. And I thought it's nothing new. It's nothing good. It's nothing to write home about, but I thought it was enjoyable. But yeah, this doesn't feel like a Priest album. Later, we'll get to talk about another band later this year where they completely abandoned their sound. And I'll be listening to that one. God, I can't wait for that one. But as I mentioned, this was supposed to be a part of a double album. Welcome Cassette Mayhem.
What's going on, Dan and George? Good to see you here, man. I know
George,
these two old rockers.
Yeah, but like I said, this was supposed to be a part of a planned double album. But like I said at the beginning, the record label wouldn't allow them, so they had to split this. Later, we'll get to another album where they actually did do it as a double album, and we'll get to that one later in this. But obviously, like I said, they split it to one. They split it. Obviously, Turbo is the light, fluffy, poppy album. Well, this one's supposed to be the heavier version of it. Ram it down.
There we go. Ram it down.
Obviously, I think for me, hearing about this would have been the Maiden Slave review for it. And my God, that's quite an old one. So, Ben, let's hope this one's an improvement, but it probably ain't.
All right, so Ram It Down came out on May 13th, 1988 on Columbia Records again, of course, produced by Tom Allman. This would be the last album he would produce with Priest.
And the last, and also the last release with their 80s drummer Dave Holland.
Yep. Which, yeah, let's just begin with the drums on this album. They sound
obviously, basically, I remember it was Maiden's review when he was talking about it. This is Dave Holland's last album. And basically, he had said, the band said that a drum machine was used in some places. But Maiden Slave said the entire album was made with a drum machine.
I'm thinking it is because, man, the drums on this album do sound bad. But I do think the songs on this album are an improvement.
Yes.
Right away.
Title track. Yeah. Apologies. But yeah. Title track.
Title track. Ram It Down. This song smokes. Now, this is the Judas Priest I want to hear. It's fast. It's ferocious. It's got excellent twin guitar harmonies. You got that scream in the beginning by Halford. It's just freaking awesome. Yeah, I love this track. Yeah, to me, Ram It Down, great opener to this album now. And I'm like, yeah, now this is the Judas Priest I want to hear. Then we get into heavy metal. Because what do you want? You want heavy metal. I actually like this song. I've heard some people complain about this song. Not me, I like it.
I know Maiden Slave would probably complain about it. He would complain about a lot of songs outside of the title track because I know he liked the title track.
So, all right, we're 2 for 2 so far. Heavy metal was awesome. That intro guitar lead, freaking epic. And you got Love Zone. Okay, now we're back to generic crap. Don't like this song. Very forgettable. Don't have much to say about it. Come and Get It. It's all right. Nothing memorable either. But then we get to the last track on side 1, Hard as Iron. This song freaking rules. A predecessor of what you would hear on the next album on this track. Very pre-Painkiller like. Love it.
Yep.
All right.
Then we get side 2. It says, obviously the opener, Blood Red Skies, which I remember I think it was like Glenn. I know Maiden Slave had said that Glenn Tipton had said that Blood Red Skies was the victim of changes of 1988. And Maiden Slave then went into a scream after that, saying that.
Oh, yeah, Blood Red Skies. This song rules. I love this song. Such an epic track, man. It sounds great, too, if you're on a back road driving with the windows down. Just an awesome song. I'm a Rocker. Not that great of a track. Kind of forgettable.
Yep.
Then you got the cover of Johnny Be Good.
I remember somebody in the comments of that Maiden Slave video, and this is on Brody's channel. Shout out to Brody, by the way. But he had mentioned that they opened this album up with Johnny Be Good as the opening single. And someone had said that was a mistake.
Yeah. Anyways, Johnny Be Good, Chuck Berry cover, obviously used for the movie that came out the same year called Johnny Be Good. It's whatever. I mean, kind of a cheap cover if you ask me. Love You to Death. The song's all right. Not bad. Not particularly memorable, but it's all right. Then the last track, Monsters of Rock. The song's cool. I like this one. Good song. Good, doomy, heavy song to end it.
Yep. So you would have this because there's a couple. I think there's a couple of songs on here that you said you weren't really big on. So you probably would say, "Oh, this is like you only like." So this would be what? What would you give this rating wise? Because there is 10 tracks on here.
Yeah, it's a redeeming album for sure. I mean, I would probably give this one a 7 out of 10.
because you said 3 songs where you didn't care for 3 songs.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about Turbo. The track Turbo Lover was actually originally going to be used for the Top Gun movie.
Yeah, but they went with Danger Zone pretty much.
Well, I think Priest turned it down.
Yeah.
They probably regret.
Yeah, Jason says, Johnny Be Good cover. Yeah, this is one of those. It's like, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. But luckily, we're getting good here now. We're getting good now. Because obviously Dave Holland leaves and they try to get some other drummers after he is let go. And they get Racer X drummer Scott Travis, and he's been in the band ever since, and he has been on all of their albums since this next one, which a lot of people would say, oh, finally Priest is back making something heavy again. Fucking pain. This is the painkiller. Try to do my best. Rob Halford screaming in Painkiller, ladies and gentlemen. Motherfuck. Yeah, finally we're getting good here.
Released on September 17th, 1990.
10 days before I was born. Holy shit.
How about that?
10 days before I was even born.
Produced by Chris Tangerini's. Hard name to pronounce.
Yep.
So, oh man, you talk about an improvement, like a vast improvement. Okay, so, and this is the first Judas Priest album I ever got on cassette tape back around 1990. So, and it's the first album I remember hearing in its full at that time, or in its entirety at that time. Jesus Christ, what a freaking album. Painkiller. What more can be said? That fucking drum intro by Scott Travis.
Yeah, just that drum intro from Scott. You know, this is been when you got a new guy coming in. We're like, we're giving you the highlight. Do something, and he does something awesome, and then gets into the guitars. Oh.
Anyway, Painkiller, opening track, just scorching speed metal. Now this fucking song just kicks ass. Everything. The high screams, the guitar work. Man, you talk about an improvement too by Tipton and Downing when it comes to the guitar work too on this. Jeez. Just machine gun like with the stuff they're doing on this track and on this album. What more could be said? Painkiller rules. And would influence a lot of German power metal bands too. Hell Patrol. God damn, this song kicks ass. Man, just scorching heavy metal. What more can be said? I mean, Halford's like firing on all cylinders on this one too, man. Some of the highest screams he's ever done on an album, or on this album. All guns blazing. Again, another speed metal track. Just killer shit, man. Yeah, just gun blazing guitar work. Excellent vocals. Excellent drumming. Leather Rebel. Man, this track's almost like a thrash metal song. It's fast. It's furious. It's got some epic riffs. I've seen some people say they think this is one of the weaker tracks on this record. Hell no, it's not weak. It's awesome. It's heavy metal, damn it. Metal Meltdown. Jeez, this song fucking rips. Those opening solos by Tipton and Downing, so damn epic and powerful. Again, just a scorching, fast speed metal track. Excellent shit. Oh, and it keeps getting better and better, people. Nightcrawler. One of the darker songs on this record. Just kick-ass stuff. Some really cool vocal work by Halford on this track, too. Some creepy vocal work in the middle there where it slows down a bit. But again, you get some epic rips and some killer leads. Okay, so Between the Hammer and the Anvil. Now, this track kind of slows it down to more of like a screaming for vengeance type of track, I guess. It's mid-paced, but it still kicks ass. It's got a cool, like, Sabbath-like riff in the beginning. And then it just turns into a good scorching heavy metal track. A Touch of Evil. Okay, this is the more melodic track on the album. So yeah, this one kind of goes back to like Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith type of sound a bit.
Yeah.
But man, this song's good. I think it's a good song. You know, Battle Hymn, just a short little instrumental that leads into
One
epic
shot
ender.
of glory.
One Shot of Glory. Jeez, fuck. You talk about a powerful kick-ass song. I mean, the lead deliver everything about this album. It's just pure heavy metal perfection. And this track is a perfect way to end such a great album. You already know what score you're getting for this album.
Yeah, but I know what you're getting doing this. Go ahead, say it.
It's a 100 out of 10. It's that good.
Yeah.
Heavy metal perfection.
Hell yeah. I can see the love for this album. Yes, obviously, like you said, there is nods to this being kind of like Screaming for Vengeance or Defenders of the Faith, paying the title track, just that whole, at the time, modern production, just the whole thing about this album. God, I fucking love it. I was debating. This is where it's gonna paint. This is where it's gonna literally be like, ooh. There was a point to where I was like, do I give this a 10? Do I give this a 10? Do I not give this a 10? I was like, oh God, I was so conflicted. But coming into this, everything that you had said made me think to myself, okay, it is definitely a 10 out of 10. Definitely worthy of being one of their best, arguably. But I do say there's better ones after that one, because I do say there is a few that are better for me. Originally, I had written down here 9.75, but I'm like, after everything you said, yes, I gotta give this a 10. I gotta give this a 10. I fucking love this album. I fucking love it. It's got to be a 10. And you would think, because there was, after this, you would think, oh, this is a good way to, you would think this would be a fantastic way, a perfect way to go out, because it's fucking Painkiller. Obviously.
So now speaking
and they did.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
I was going to say, after this, Rob Halford would go and do solo stuff. And the band were basically just, everybody thought, oh, they're done. But no, they end up coming back in 1996. And they got a guy by the name of Tim Ripper Owens. And they come out in 1997 with Jugulator.
All right, before we get into this album, I'm going to talk about a couple little things. Now, recently, this just came out about Painkiller. I don't know how true this shit is. I hate when stuff like this gets exposed. Rumor has it that Ann Hill didn't even play bass on that record, that it's keyboards, bass lines.
Yeah, they had, I think I saw on here that it said here, Ian Hill, bass credited, but may not actually appear.
And then there's a rumor going around too that Scott Travis didn't even play the drums on that album, that it's a drum machine. Now that
this one came out. This came out recently. Shocking Revelation. This came out like about 5 years ago. November 7th, 2020. Shocking Revelations. Deep Purple's keyboardist reveals he played bass on Judas Priest's Painkiller. So who would it have been at this time? Because this is from Metal Injection. This would have been Don Airy. Yeah, Don Airy. And we would get to him later. He would come back on a few Priest albums after this one.
Which obviously,
that's surprising. That surprises me.
Which obviously Don Airy's famous for working with Black Sabbath,
Yeah, additional musicians. Additional musician. Don Airy keyboards on A Touch of Evil and Living Bad Dreams, but that's not Living Bad Dreams is not on any official track. That's probably a bonus track. But he did have a mini Moog bass on all other songs. Uncredited for the latter, though.
All right. So, anyways, in between all that, so this would have been the longest gap, 7 years.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Rob Halford would leave. Actually, Scott Travis would go on and they would do Fight. Did a couple records with Fight. I mean, we're not really here to talk about Fight, but, that's what kind of went on.
Yeah, but it's like it wouldn't. I think he also Racer X came back at this point, and he was probably on drums for that too at this point.
I believe so, yeah. But so in between that, there was a couple vocalists that auditioned for Priest, and I'm kind of shocked the one guy didn't get the job. Ralph Sheepers of Primal Fear actually auditioned.
Yeah, that was.
And I think, who was the other guy? There was Ralph Sheepers. There was somebody else too, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Tim Reaper was one of those people. Let me see if I can find something about this. Anything? I gotta look and see if there was anything going into this. Do we have anything? They have nothing on here. They have nothing after this one, or maybe they might have mentioned about it on Painkiller. Rob Halford's departure. Contractually, Halford was required to leave to allow blah blah blah. However, the band and recruiting, I think they just recruited Tim. There was no audition or anything like that. They just got Tim Ripper Owens at that point, and so he is the vocalist on Jugulator.
So, anyways, in the middle of that, they would put this out, 73 to 93 Metalworks, really, really cool compilation disc. Probably one of the best compilation discs that's ever been made. So that came out in between. Then we get to 1997.
Yep. This is not on, I don't think Painkiller was on Columbia, if I'm correct. This is their first with SPV or Steamhammer, I believe, if I'm correct.
No. Actually, no. This one was originally on CMC International. I have the original copy right here of Jugulator. Yep.
But they had said SPV as the label on this one.
I believe that's a reissue. I mean, it might have been released on that label overseas, but here in America, it came out on CMC International.
Originally. That's the same label that had Bruce Dickinson at the time as well. Later, I think around that same time, because Bruce put out Accident of Birth around 97.
Right. And boy, oh boy, what a big jump in sound. So this came out on October 18th, 1997. And this was produced by Glenn Tipton. Notably, you get a different logo. I think the artwork kind of looks cheap. Just my opinion. Don't care for the logo either. But I get it. New singer. Hey, hell, why not make a different logo, right? So this has Tim Ripper Owens on vocals. Now, I know a lot of people shit on his vocals. I think he's a fucking awesome vocalist. And I just seen him last year with KK's Priest. But anyways, so Tim Ripper Owens comes in to do vocals. Probably a dream come true for him because he's joining a band he grew up idolizing, and he was in a Priest cover band prior to this, and Winter's Bane also. Anyway, so we get 9 tracks, 58 minutes and 6 seconds, the longest Priest album up to that point. Okay, so this one is definitely more modern metal sounding. Well, what would have been considered modern metal in 1997, like the Pantera type of stuff. Yeah, the guitars are tuned down, so yeah, it doesn't sound like anything Judas Priest ever did in the past. Jugulator, though, this song fucking rips. Yes, the lyrics on this album absolutely suck. Yeah, they're crappy lyrics. But no, the track Jugulator is fucking scorching. It's fast, almost thrash metal sounding. Bloodstained, I think, is another awesome track, too. Just looking here. Dead Meat, you get a little bit of like industrial stuff creeping into. I will say, too, on this record, the guitar leads are not that great by Tipton and Downing. And it just seems like it's more Glenn Tipton doing the solos on this one. Yeah, Dead Meat, it's kind of cool. It's heavy. I actually really like Death Row, even though it's fucking cheesy as shit in the beginning. But it's pretty heavy. Decapitate, okay, this song sucks. Nothing memorable. Burn in Hell, I do like Burn in Hell. Fucking heavy.
Oh yeah, just remembering. I think the one that stands out is when Tim Ripper screams, "You burn in hell!" Kind of giving off some King Diamond vibes a little bit with the screaming a little bit.
Little bit. Yeah, Burn in Hell's a kick-ass track. I do like it. Then we get Brain Dead. I'm not a big fan of Brain Dead. This song's kind of whatever. Abductors, I do like Abductors. I think that's a cool track. Pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Bullet Train, that was the first single I believe that was released from this album. They actually made a cassette single for this back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, this song fucking rips. I love it. But the best track to me on this record is the last track, Cathedral Spire. What an epic.
The longest. I think this is the longest song they've ever recorded. It's at 9 minutes.
And
up to this point, at the very least.
And I was lucky enough last year to see Tim Ripper Owens perform this song at Burn in Hell.
So, with KK's Priest, pretty much.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, man.
I think that's kind of the reason why they don't play that now, because it's like, well, you got KK's Priest, they'll play the Tim stuff, pretty much.
Anyways, so this album, shockingly, I'm going to give it like an 8 out of 10. I like this album, except for a couple tracks, but
yeah, I actually enjoyed this one too. Like you said, there is a couple of stinkers on here, but I did enjoy it. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed. This is the first time I've ever heard any of the Tim Ripper stuff, because the only things I've heard from Tim were probably stuff outside of his time in Priest, which would probably have been Chardwells of the Damned with Ghost Town. That one's probably one of those. Obviously, his time in Iced Earth, obviously. But this was the first time I heard him in doing Priest, and this was kind of eye-opening. I always knew he was a great vocalist, but this reaffirmed. I'm like, he's a really great vocalist. I enjoyed this for the most part. I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this album. It's really great. I would be open to getting this one. This one is really great. But obviously we get to this is where our opinions are going to be differ when it comes to the Ripper stuff, because we get to the next one, and this was released in the year of 2001, which had a lot of bangers, in my opinion, and I think this next one, for me at least, should be in that conversation of any album from 2001 could easily be the best of 2001. Unfortunately for me, that honor always will go to either Blackwater Park from Opeth or Lateralis from Tool. But this one is could be one of those that could be consideration. I mean, obviously for me, I can't say the same about Ben, but we get the last thing that Tim Ripper Owens did with the band, released in 2001, Demolition.
Well, before we get to Demolition, they put out this Live 98 Meltdown. I no longer have this anymore. This is a great live CD with Ripper. It's awesome. Really good live album. I think it's pretty underrated. I mean, they do the classic tracks really good. Anyways, well,
yep.
Back to talking about shit again.
Yep. Well, not for me, but we're kind of he doesn't have this one. I don't have it either, but I want to get it. But yeah, we're difference of opinions in this one. So Ben, talk about this if you want to.
Okay, so I used to have this CD. I got rid of it. I'm like, this CD fucking sucks.
You shouldn't have, because now look at prices for it now. It's
and I fathomed to think to myself, why does a piece of shit album like this sell for like $30 and $40 on eBay? Because this album is trash. Again, another album that's not. It just seems unfocused to me. And yes, at that time, Glenn Tipton's father passed away or mother passed away, so I don't know. This album just seems uninspired to me. And it's 70 fucking minutes long. 70 minutes and 44 seconds long of just boredom. It's like, geez, stick a fork in my eyes, for God's sake. It's so damn bad. Machine Men. Okay, this track's all right. See, okay, I'll see. You're getting a little bit of positive shit here. Okay, this song's okay, but One on One, it's not a bad song, but man, the rip is so damn repetitive. Hell is Home. I kind of like this one. Not
Oh, you
bad.
skipped One on One. What about One on One was the other one in between it?
Oh no, I did say one. I think I said one on one. One on one. Okay, this track is. It could be good, but the riff. It's like one rip the whole way through the fucking song.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of the same like what they were doing before. There is some stinkers. It's not all, it's not, yeah, there are some stinkers on here though.
All right, let's go on here. Jekyll and Hyde. What the fuck's going on this track? It's fucking trash. Close to You, forgettable, just garbage. Devil Digger, generic. Bloodsuckers, even worse. Fuck this song. So far, fuck this album. In Between, horrible. Feed on Me, it's all right. It kind of has some memorable. It's kind of memorable, and on this one, Tim Ripper Owens does kind of have like a Ronnie James Dio vibe to his voice, so I kind of like this one. Yeah, Feed on Me, not bad. Solder Food. What the fuck? Now Judas Priest is trying to be new metal.
Yeah, here's the shocker thing here. This was co-written by Tipton and Chris Sangaridis. He comes back and helps write a couple of songs on here, and he's back in this after Painkiller, and he.
Yeah, Solder Foods. What the fuck is this? Judas Priest trying to be new metal? Fuck this song. Lost and Found. Lost and Found. Actually, this is the best track on the album. It's a ballad.
Oh, well, we're in agreement. I can agree with you on this one. There is some stuff that I do like, but yeah, Lost and Found is easily, and why I have this so high is Lost and Found is it's not the best ballad Priest has ever done, but it's close, at least for me. I love this ballad.
Yeah, actually, it's the best track on the album. A ballad being the best track on an album, people. Shows you how bad this album is. Cyberface, garbage. Metal Messiah, what the fuck? You're calling a track Metal Messiah, but it sounds new metal. Fuck this damn album.
I mean, it's a product of the time. You gotta think, this came out in 2001, so new metal was kind of the thing at the time.
Unfortunately. This album gets 1 out of 10. Fuck this album.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're at the opposite ends of this one because, my God, y'all are going to be surprised. Because I said to Ben, you're going to be surprised. I really, really like this album. I like it. I'm like, yeah, it does have the weaknesses of what Jugular had. It had a few weaknesses. It isn't fully perfect, but it reminded me so much of Women and Children First with Van Halen, where some of the better songs basically made the bad moments, kind of disappear a little bit. And why I say this one's so high for me, because obviously Hell is Home, fucking love it. It was so groovy as hell. In Between was another great one. Like you said, Lost and Found is easily the highlight on this album. And like I said, it's not perfect, but I do like it. I'm going to give it a 9.75 out of 10.
What?
I'm saying the great moments on this outshine the negatives on here, and I like this for the most part.
Compare this to Women and Children First by Van Halen?
Yeah, because it's like not in style, because obviously they're two completely different styles, but it's just how some of the positive songs outshine the negative song in that regard. That's what I mean, at least for me. But I like this one, and this one's one of those that I could easily say Well, granted, it's not the best thing from 2001. I mean, that honor will always go to either Blackwater Park or Lila Alice, like I said. But this is one I would definitely, if I was to have done, well, video making wasn't even a thing, but if video making was a thing in 2001, I did a top 10, this would easily be in the top 10, easily for me. So I enjoyed this album. I would definitely would wanna get this one at some point. So yeah, I give it a 9.7. Yeah, like I said, we're a difference in opinions pretty much. I think for us, I think we can agree to disagree pretty much in this case. But we're different in opinions on this album. But it is what it is. But obviously the last one. Y'all will be surprised because I'm only doing a handful of albums, and this is one of those.
I apologize.
Here's the thing. You don't know this about me, Warhammer, but I will mention this, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say this, but because I'm wearing this with a badge of honor. I mean, at this point, I was listening to bands like Creed and Collective Soul at the time. But even he does not mind that because that's the stuff I grew up listening to. Because it's like, I don't care if you want to shit on it, go for it. I like it, that stuff, and I like this album. But unfortunately, this is the last one with Tim Ripper Owens as they would reunite with Rob Halford. Like I said, Tim Ripper Owens would go and later join Eister. He do 2 albums. He would later do 2 albums pretty much with Eister, Glorious Burden, and Something Wicked Part 1. Before he would go and form the supergroup with Jason Sukoff, ex-drummer Richard Christie, and Testament bassist Steve DiGiorgio, called Jarred Worlds of Dan. But we will get back to him later when we talk later. But like I said, they would reunite with Rob Halford. And in, I believe this was 2005, and you're taking over for this one. Angel of Retribution in 2005, I believe, with Judas Priest. So cleanse yourself of what you call the worst, so get this one out of it.
Finally, the angels came down, the metal angels came down and held me.
Yes, because he gets it good.
Demolition.
Yep. Here's the thing I realized with this one, because this is, they got rid of that Sean guy, and for this one album with them, they got Roy Z on here. Oh, hey, speaking of, we got Dreadful Minutes. What's up, Rick? Let's just say we just got done talking about Demolition, and he gives it a 1. I gave it a 9.75. That is what happened.
Again.
Okay. Apologies. Let's get this out of the way. Let's talk Angel Retribution now.
Well, I think we just had a Jam and John moment on this channel.
No. Unlike Jam and John, I would at least have Altars of Madness high on the list when it comes to Morbid Angel. So at least you'll have some clarity when it comes to that. I'm not fully Jam and John.
All right, let's get back to Angels of Retribution.
Angel of Retribution. Let's get some good stuff in this now.
Finally, I'm starting to feel a little better, chat room. I'm starting to get my mojo back here, chat room. Anyways,
after hearing what I had to say, yeah.
All right, released on February 23rd, 2005. Hard to believe it's been over 20 years already. Holy crap!
Yeah, 20. Dang.
So yeah, Rob Halford came back to Priest in 2003. They put out a huge box set called Metalology, and re-released all the Priest albums in between. And well, that summer in 2004, they played Ozfest, and I got to see Priest live at that Ozfest. Freaking amazing. Besides the fact there was 2 punk-ass kids behind me that me and my one buddy were about ready to knock out because they were like, fuck Priest, we want Slayer. Anyways, that was 21 years ago, so... All right, this album, Man, talk about a vast improvement. So this one, I would say, kind of mixes a bit of Painkiller and a bit of classic Priest. Like the opening track, Judas Rising, great start, man. It's like, yes, finally, my Judas Priest is back. It sounds like it could have been on Painkiller, you know. Deal with the Devil. Now this one's more mid-tempo. Kind of sounds like it could have been on Screaming for Vengeance.
Yep. This
Or
is
maybe
I hear see on this one. This was co-written by Tipton, Halford, Downing, and Roy Z. So Roy Z has a writing credit on this album.
anyways, back to what I was gonna say here. Okay, Deal with the Devil. Okay, now this one sounds like it could have been on maybe, I don't know, maybe an album as far back as Hellbent for Leather. It kind of has that vibe to it. Revolution, I don't like this track. It was released as a single. This is one I don't care for. Worth Fighting For. This one kind of has a thinking here. This one kind of has a Point of Entry vibe to it. Like one of the better tracks from Point of Entry. It's definitely very mid-paced. Not a heavy metal song at all. To me, it's more hard rock sounding. But then did we pick it up fucking quick with Demonizer. Scorching heavy metal. This is fucking Painkiller type of shit. Just fast, double bass drumming, you know. Yeah, Demonizer rules. Then again, you got Wheels of Fire. This one kind of goes back to a classic Priest song, or like classic mid-pace Priest sound too. Angel. Okay, this track I think is incredible. Okay, now a lot of people, anybody I've ever seen talk about this album never brings this up, but I hear this when I listen to Angel. To me, it's Beyond the Realms of Death Part 2. It has like a similar melody and similar vibe to it. I think this song's fantastic. Oh man, to me the best track on this record is Hell Rider. This is pure Painkiller. Fast, epic guitar leads, just badass shit.
Yeah.
Eulogy going into Loch Ness.
Yep, Loch Ness is, if I'm correct, the longest Judas Priest song ever at nearly 13 and a half minutes.
13 minutes and 28 seconds. A lot of people say this song's boring. Fuck no, this song's fucking awesome. Kind of a doom metal track. I like it, man. I like all 13 minutes and 28 seconds of this track.
Oh, we'll get to some doom later on the next album after this, but yeah, continue.
All right, so to me, this album, man, I'm going to give it probably an 8.5 out of 10.
Interesting. All righty. Well, I think for some people that you would think couldn't get any better. Well, they get a little bit more ambitious after this one. And this is where I'm coming into this one. I'm starting this one off. They decide they were going to do not just a double album. You thought Loch Ness was long. Oh, God, we're about to get the longest Priest album ever. And it's a concept album, mind you. 2008. This was released June 2008. I was in summer school when this came out. Nostradamus. So, like I said, I'm starting this one off.
Yeah, I was going to say, you start this one.
Yeah, this is one that I wanted to talk about because I remember the last time I was with you, I did this one. I at least did the first one. But at least this time around, I'm prepared with this too. You get to Dawn of Creation. You open up Dawn of Creation, kind of building up the atmosphere and stuff, and then it gets into Prophecy, which kind of feels like it's like another, because it also mentions Nostradamus in there and all that stuff, and Prophecy, just like it's a heavy track, but they also add a bit. I think some obviously Don Airy is on here as well. They got Pete Whitfield doing some strings. It's kind of an interesting, it's a concept album and all that stuff. Prophecy, it's just like just reminiscing about this one, just hearing this whole thing all the way through, just like kind of doom. It's kind of a little bit doomy, a little bit. It kind of is a little doom metal-ish. But there is quite a little bit of interludes on these two discs. Then we get into Awakening, kind of just like it's like kind of like a little ballady, but like it's only less than a minute. Then it gets into Revelations, which is kind of like Jesus. It's kind of a fast pace, like kind of not quite Iron Maiden gallopy, but it's kind of like a just like a driving kind of like I guess it's kind of you got another thing coming kind of song. It kind of sounds like that for me. Freaking loved Revelations. Then we get to the Four Horsemen Suite, which encompasses tracks 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that's 7 tracks. You get open into
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I don't like hearing myself. But yeah, Four Horsemen leads into War, kind of. There's not much in the guitar work. It's heavy, but it's more orchestral heavy, and the vocals from Rob are really great. Then you get into Sands of Time that leads into Pestilence and Plague, which this one feels like an Iron Maiden, kind of like a gallopy riff and stuff like that. Just like so freaking great. And I think he even sings like I think the chorus is kind of like in a weird language. I can't remember what language it was. I can't remember what it is or something like that, but it's just like the chorus. But they do near the end sing it in English. And then we get to Death. Oh my. Death is easily the best song on this double album. Fucking love Death. It is so damn good. Doom driven, freaking haunting, just Rob's vocals on here, very, very haunting in some of the verses. It's, what's up, Dan? Nice to see you in here. But Death, motherfucking goddamn, that song is easily, and I mean this with all respect, I know there's some of the classic stuff, but to me, Death is the best Judas Priest song I have ever heard. It is so fucking good to me. Then you get into Peace, which goes into Conquest, which kind of feels is the last one in this Four Horsemen suite of the series of songs. Conquest kind of feels kind of power metal to me. It's like it's kind of got that power metal-esque a little bit for me. And then I mentioned Lost Love, which was this is easily to me the best ballad Priest has ever done. And then disc 1 closes with Persecution. Kind of is trying to remember, can't remember much about that one, but it's really great. Then we get to disc. And I've written notes for disc 2 this time, so I came prepared for this one. Disc 2 kind of opens with Solitude, which is just a piano-led intro that goes into Exiled, which I've written here because obviously it's a concept album. You're gonna share themes and sounds. No, no, I won't. But Exiled is like Lost Love. It was like take what Lost Love was, but you add much more louder guitars, bass, and drums for me. And then Alone is kind of a combination of, because like you said, it's a concept album. You're going to share a lot of themes and sounds and stuff like that. Alone, kind of like Conquest, Lost, Love, and Revelations. Then we get to, like I said, there's a lot of interludes and all the shorter songs. Sorry, I've been talking a lot today. Shadows in the Flame, short acoustic ballad that goes into Visions. It's very similar to Conquest, but a much more catchier version of that one. And then we get Hope, which goes into New Beginnings. New Beginnings kind of sounds like very late 80s, early 90s sounding arena rock song, because it kind of sounds big and just, it would definitely sound like something that you would think a lot of those arena rock bands, like say a Queensryche with Empire or something like that. And then we get to kind of Calm Before the Storm, sound similar to Peace, which goes into the title track, which to me, listening to this, is a modern sounding Painkiller for me. For me, you know, pretty much. And then it ends with probably the longest singular track on here, Future of Mankind, which is kind of just, again, going over all the other sounds. And yeah, I think overall for me, I fucking love this album. It's not perfect, but to me, and I don't know if this would upset anybody, but I can see why a lot of the stuff that they have put out since after this one is pretty much just doing what they normally do. I think for me, this is easily the best. Oh, Nostradamus, right? And oh, that would be something we could do, maybe. But I think Nostradamus, for me, is the best Judas Priest album. For me. I love this album a lot. I know it's long. It's a double album. It's a lot of minutes and stuff. But for me, I love it. I absolutely love this album, and I fucking love this one. I can't give it a perfect score. It's 9.75. It does have its weak moments, but I fucking love this album. It is my all-time favorite Priest album, and I can understand that not many people would have this pretty high, but for me, because this was the first Priest album I ever bought, I fucking love this album. It is my favorite Priest album. So, Ben, your turn.
All right. Well, I do own it. Blah.
Oh, I'm jealous you have it. I'm so jealous you have it.
Doesn't get played a lot, but I have it. All right. Well, I'm going to be the naysayer on this one. Now, remember when they announced this album was coming out, 2-disc, a concept album. I'm thinking to myself, okay, kind of sounds interesting. But then again, is it going to be good? Contrary to popular belief, I find this to be very boring.
Whoa.
Now, there's highlights on here. Like, Persecution's a fucking badass song. Definitely Painkiller. Like, I know I compare a lot of, like, the recent stuff after Painkiller to Painkiller, It's kind of hard not.
It is. You can definitely hear stuff that they sound like it's just modern day versions of older stuff. Yeah, but it's just much more. It's more when it comes to Priest.
Okay, I do like Prophecy. I think Prophecy is a great track. Revelations is pretty good. Death, I do like Death.
Like I keep saying, it's if nothing else, the best song on this entire album. Motherfucker, it's just.
So that's pretty much all I like on disc 1. I'm not going to get into the interludes because they're interludes.
Exactly, yeah.
But
the interludes, it's kind of similar to it's a double album version of why I like Lateralis. The interludes on Lateralis and this kind of work because I actually like the interludes on this album.
But then we get to disc 2. At this point, I'm falling asleep. I'm like, for one, every track on disc 2 is slow, boring, really goes nowhere. Until we get to the title track, Nostradamus. Then it picks up right near the end of the album.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nostradamus. I do like the last 2 tracks on here, Nostradamus and the Future of Mankind, but everything before that, it's forgettable and boring. So, I'm going to give this one, it was an effort for them. Give credit where credit's due, but yep. I'm still not going to rank this very high. And this would be the final album with KK Downing.
Yep.
Just not a good way to go out. I'm giving this a 6.5 out of 10.
Yep. I like I said, I know this is another one that, but what Rick said, it's their prog album. If you're not a big prog head, it makes absolute sense to rate this low. Yes, obviously with me, because I'm the prog nerd. It's like you obviously for me, I'm the prog the prog guy. Yeah, that I'm going to like something like I love concept albums. You do something like that. I think a lot of us know that. Obviously, they don't challenge themselves after this one because it's like, yeah, they're just doing the same. Because, like we said, obviously they were going to retire in between all of this, but later reconsidered it. But later, but obviously they were considered. But KK would eventually leave, and he would eventually, at some point later on, would form KK's Priest with the aforementioned Tim Ripper Owens. Initially, they were also going to have Les Binks on there, but unfortunately, that fell through. Unfortunately, but in KK's place, they eventually get Richie Faulkner, and the result is, well, several albums I do not care about when it comes to Priest. I did listen to their new album. We'll get to that one, but we get to Redeemer of Souls. So Ben,
All right. Redeemer of Souls came out. Let me find the date
I
here.
believe that was 2014.
Yeah, it's okay. It was released on July 8th, 2014 in the States.
Yep, Europe on July 11th and the UK in July 14th.
Right. Anyways, let's get to this album. Definitely made me happier. I'm like, okay, now it's sounding like Judas Priest again. You got that Nostradamus, not terrible, but boring. But there are some criticisms I have about this album, even though this album did cheer me up at the time. For one, the production on this album sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah, who made the production?
It's
Some guy named Mike. It's Mike Exeter and Glenn Tipton on doing the production and stuff like that. So it's like no KK there. So this is kind of.
So yeah, man, we get the debut of Richie Faulkner on guitar to take over for KK Downing, who retired at the time. So wow, this is a long-winded album too. It's 61. Well, there's two. I have the double disc version of this, which adds up to 83 minutes and 39 seconds to 5 bonus tracks.
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about the normal ones, the 13 tracks on.
All right, let's get Dragonaut. Dragonaut. I like this track. Good song. Really good opener and a good introduction to Richie Faulkner on this record, I think. Man, the title track, Redeemer of Souls, sounds a hell of a lot like Hell Patrol. Like, it's almost like they rewrote Hell Patrol on this track. Doesn't really bother me, but I don't know, man. But it almost sounds like they were forcing themselves to sound like Painkiller on this album. That's what kind of bugs me about this album.
Yeah.
But man, the next track, Halls of Valhalla, oh my God, this song's freaking great. Just sounds like classic Priest, love it. Let's see. Swords of Demisouls, the next track, I really like this one too. Now, this one's kind of odd because it has more of an Iron Maiden feel on this track, which is kind of different. I really like this track. And Marks of the Damned, man, this track fucking rocks, man. It's going back to like the British Steel days. Really good song. Yeah, Down in Flames too. I like this one. It kind of goes back to like British Steel, screaming for vengeance a bit. But then like the middle of the album kind of gets whatever. Hell and Back, kind of boring. Cold-Blooded, not bad, but nothing special. Metalizer. I gotta fucking criticize this song. Yes, it's fast, but it's not good. Hate to say, but Rob Halford's voice sounds shot on this track. And I noticed this with this album too. Rob Halford's voice doesn't quite sound like it did before. Metalizer, very weak. It would have sounded better with Ripper Owens on vocals, just saying. Crossfire, not bad. It's all right. Let's see. Secrets of the Dead. It's whatever. Battle Cry fucking rules. Battle Cry is one of the best tracks on this record. And I think this might have been around the time where maybe Priest was planning a retirement, because we got a track on here called Beginning of the End, which sounds like a goodbye type of track, a ballad. Oh no, it's kind of a boring ballad. Like I said, the stuff that's good on this album is great. Got to give this one a 7 out of 10.
Yep. I didn't write notes for this one, unfortunately, so we get not much else change after this one. I think, did they? Nope, it's still kind of the same lineup. This one's an interesting one. You may like this one. Tom Allum comes back on production, and we get 2018's Firepower.
Hell yeah, man. So
Let's
this
go for it.
this fucking album just kicks fucking ass. So yeah, you get an Andy Steep production, which I'm not the biggest fan of Andy Steep's production nowadays, because I just think his production all sounds identical. But it definitely was an improvement over Redeemer of Souls. I wish he would have produced Redeemer of Souls, if we're being honest. But yeah, you get Tom Allman making a comeback too, the classic Priest, producer, man. Right away, this fucking album just fires at all cylinders, man. And look at it, man. It's got like that classic Priest look. So yeah, Firepower. Just a scorching speed metal track. I love it. I've heard some people say they don't like it. I think it's pretty cool. Lightning Strikes, actually, funny enough, this actually got some radio play at the time. But yeah, Lightning Strikes is a pretty cool track. Evil Never Dies fucking smokes. You kind of get a little bit of like a fight influence on this track. It's heavier. Maybe a little bit of a Jugulator vibe on this track with the heaviness. Love it. Maybe kind of give me images, a little bit of what Jugulator would have sounded like if Rob Halford was still in the band as the vocalist. All right, so Never to Heroes, man, this song's just really epic, really awesome. Kind of has like that modern day Accept feel to it. Very amphetic and epic. Necromancer fucking rules. Again, another heavy track that kind of has like that Jugulator heaviness to it. Children of the Sun is really good too. Really good mid-paced track. Then you got Guardians, an instrumental that builds into Rising from the Ruins. And we all shall rise from the fucking ruins. Right? Absolutely. Very epic, powerful song. Love it. Flamethrower. This one's kind of funny. This one kind of goes back to a little bit of the Turbo days on this track. But like if this song would have been on Turbo, it would have been probably the best track on Turbo. Spectres is freaking killer. Trader's Gates, kind of a dark song, pretty good stuff. No Surrender is pretty decent. I'm just looking here. If I'm just saying, it's good or decent, it's probably because I don't have like the strongest memory of these tracks.
Yeah.
But Lone Wolf, this one's very different. Now this one definitely has like that Jugulator. Again, it kind of has like a Jugulator heaviness to it. It's more actually probably more like Fight. It's really mid-paced, kind of has like that Fight heaviness to it. And then Sea of Red, man, fantastic ballad to end this freaking record. To me, call me crazy, I give this one a 9.5 out of 10. Is Ryan still there? Uh-oh. I think we're waiting for Ryan. Well, good to see everybody in the chat room. Scott, Sarah, Warhammer, Miss Antropy. We got Rick, the Dreadful Minutes in the chat room. What's going on, my man? A couple people on Ryan's channel that I don't know, but hey, what's up, guys? We got Aaron Boardman in the chat. Now, this would be in Ryan's channel. So, we got Danny in the house. What's going on, Danny? Oh, excuse me. I think Metal John's here. Just looking to see if anybody else showed up. All right, I think Ryan's back.
Yep, apologies for that. Yep, but I am back. I wasn't here when you were saying, what did you give Firepower?
Oh, 9.5 out of 10. I think it's an awesome album.
All right. Okay, well, now we come to basically the last album, which is their most recent album that came out, I believe, last year, Invincible Shield. So, Ben?
Yeah, and you know what? I had this album and I forgot to break it out. What the fuck is wrong with me? I do have it, though. All right, so Invincible Shield, obviously, I was fucking really anticipating this album. Yeah, I've heard the criticisms from some people about this record. Oh, it's too painkiller-like. It's too repetitive.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that's like, I did not have this high on my list. Yeah, I don't even think it made it onto my list at all.
All right, so yeah, I kind of go back and forth between this and Firepower on which one I like the best. Now, obviously, this one's, just came out last year, so it hasn't quite grown yet. But man, there's some damn good shit on this freaking album. Panic Attack. When I first heard that, man, I was excited. Like, yes, I don't give a fuck if it sounds like Painkiller. I like it. The Serpents and the King. Another fast one that could have been on Painkiller, just killer shit. And the title track, Invincible Shield, damn. You talk about some speed metal playing. Yeah, like the first 3 songs on here are definitely Painkiller-like. But it does slow down a bit. Gets, a bit more mid-paced with Devil in Disguise. Pretty good song. I really like Gates of Hell. Kind of a throwback to like some of the earlier records. Crown of Horns. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Crown of Horns is probably the most melodic track on this record. I mean, that one does kind of go back to like mid-'80s Priest with how melodic it is. Pretty decent track. As God as I... Or, yeah, okay. Excuse me here. Let me grab a drink here. All right. Ready to talk. The fucking voice is drying up. As God is my witness, this could be Leather Rebel Part 2. It's got like that same vibe musically. I think it's kick-ass. Trial by Fire is a really good track too, I think. Now this one definitely goes back to like the British Steel days. So I do like it. Escape from Reality. This one's not bad. I just don't have much memory of it. Sons of Thunder, I think, is a really good track. And Giants in the Sky is a really great ender to this album. It's a tribute to Lemmy, Dio, and all our metal legends that passed on, So I think it's a really, really great song. I mean, this one might be a little bit of a step down from Firepower with me, but it's still around the 9 out of 10 range. So I'm going to go with a 9 out of 10 for this one.
Yeah, I'm one of those that was like, it was definitely for me, because this was the last one I'm going to be talking about here. For me, this just sounded, I'm one of those that was like listening to it. I'm like, I've heard this before. Like, this is, this was nothing different. I listened to this last year when it came out. And I was just like, okay, I've heard this. If I'm wanting to listen to something like this, I'll go listen to some of those classic albums. I'll go listen to a Painkiller. I'll go listen to a Screaming for Vengeance. It's like I want. It was at this point where I say to myself, why can't they challenge themselves? There's a reason why I have Nostradamus so high. It's just like they just putting out the same album. So they're playing it safe, and it's just like it's just like I'm I really it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like I've heard it before. It's just like I think it was around that 9 or 9.5 out of 10 for me. I was just like, it was just wasn't for me. There were a lot of other stuff that came out last year that I thought were better than it. And I was just like, I've heard this before. It's just like I'm not the biggest Priest fan, as everybody should know. I'm not the biggest Priest fan, but this was one of those. I was listening to it, and I'm like, I enjoyed it. A Priest album is always going to be enjoyable. I enjoyed this one for the most part. It's just like retreading old water, pretty much.
All right, man. So that's pretty much the Judas Priest deep dive up to this point.
Yep, we have now basically kind of the rankings pretty much, and I wouldn't know where I would have this. I think we go for, if I'm gonna probably put this right here real quick. I never really did put Invincible Shield in the full version.
All right, so waiting for Ryan to come back so we can do our ranking. Just trying to. Okay. Just trying to organize my CDs here. Okay. So hope everybody in the chat room is having a good night. Well, that's a good question. Where did he go? Just waiting for him to come back so we can rank these albums. What's up, Metal John? What's up, Warhammer Aaron? I think Aaron's in Ryan's channel. Yeah, this is streaming on 2 different channels. I think Boss Antelope 86 was here also. Frederick, what's up, Frederick? Just woke up, man. Shit, dude, what time is it in Australia, bro? So it would probably be mid-afternoon in Australia. Yes, Warhammer, Into the Coven, Frederick, he's from Australia too, man. Oh shit, it's still fucking morning in Australia, damn. See, it's Frederick from. Well, I'll let Frederick tell you what part of Australia he's from. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna rank my albums till he gets back, or let's see if he comes back.
All right.
Ah, there he is. All right.
All right. Apologies for that. But yes, where were we at? Oh yes, the part 2 ranking. So obviously with me, I forgot how many animals they have this part? 10, I believe. So obviously with Ben, you're doing what 10 to 6. So
Well, my bottom is the one I don't own. That piece of shit called Demolition. That's my number 10.
yep. Yep, I know. I'm here, Warhammer. Yep, I know.
Let's see, number 9. Fuck. Got to go with I got to go with Turbo for number 9. Okay, number 8. Boy, this is gonna break Ryan's heart, but hey, you broke my heart earlier, so.
Yep, it's even. We're even.
Nostradamus, number 8.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
Top 10 at least in this part, at least. But
all right, I'm just making sure I'm doing this. Okay, number. All right. Jugulator would be next. Number 7. Even though I gave it pretty good praise. Number 6. Ram it down.
dang.
Don't think it's as bad as people claim it to be, even though there's some bad on it.
Yep. Okay, that's your number 6, I believe, or something?
Correct.
All right. My number 5.
No. That might have been my number 5. Shit.
So let me think.
Never mind. No. You're okay.
That is 6. That is 6.
I think I got ahead of myself.
Yeah, that is
Right.
number 6. Okay. My number 5 is Invincible Shield.
All right, number 5. You know what? I already gave my number 5 away. What a doof. Ram it down.
Oh.
So number 4.
Jugulator for me.
Number 4 is going to be Redeemer of Souls.
Number 3, Demolition.
Oh shit! I fucked up, dude. I forgot. I don't have my Invincible Shield CD. So.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Let me fucking.
That would be in the top 5. That would be in the top 5.
Let me backtrack here. Number 5 would be Redeemer of Souls. So, okay. Now we're back to number 4. Okay.
Yeah, you're number 4. I said Jugulator.
Angel of Retribution. Number 4.
Yep. My number 3. Yeah, my number 3 is Demolition.
My number 3 is Invincible Shield, the newest one.
My number 2, Painkiller.
Firepower.
Yep. And you know my number 1, Nostradamus. Frederick spoiled my number 1. Frederick spoiled my number 1 pretty much.
Well, we all know what number 1 is. The most influential metal album on European power metal.
All righty.
Painkiller.
Yeah, but we do have the full version one, which is all of ours combined. So I know you had how many albums they had? 19, I believe.
19 albums total.
Yep, you do 11 to 19, and then I'll come in at number 10.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think I'm ready for this one. Oh, so 11. We're doing
number this. I have number 19 to. Yeah, this is the big full version one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is the 19 to 11, and then I come in at number 10.
Hold on a minute. I gotta grab the other CDs. I didn't think we were doing all 19 of them.
Yeah, I should have clarified it. Yeah. Fair enough. I guess I can kind of go with mine real quick because I do have them pulled up and stuff like that. I'll just go relatively quickly on this one. Number 10, Invincible Shield. This might pain some people that I have these at the bottom, but it is what it is. Number 9, Sad Wings of Destiny. Number 8, British Steel. Number 7, Jugulator. Number 6, Defenders of the Faith. Number 5, Screaming for Vengeance. Number 4, actually, I take that back. I think I had the other one number 2. I think this one Ooh, I probably will have this one. I probably will have my number 2 is now my number 5, which would basically be Demolition. Then number 4 is Screaming for Vengeance. Then number 3 is Stained Class. Number 2 is Painkiller, and number 1 is Nostradamus. So that is what mine is. So go. Oh, oh, there we go. There we go. I got you back up on here. So you could just go through all of them because I just went through my top 10.
All right. And yay, I found my Invincible Shield cover. Album.
Yeah, let's go.
No, that's not last place, by the way. Oh, come on. Do I have to spoil what last place is? That piece of
Yeah,
crap?
I think we know last place. I think we know you said Demolition's last. Oh, no, wait. Was it Demolition? Was it Demolition? I think it was Demolition. Yeah. Demolition's last for you.
Last place. Second to last would be... All right.
Would it be Turbo? I would think it would be Turbo.
It would be Turbo. Yes, you are right. Turbo.
Yeah.
Number 18. Number 17 would be trying to fucking organize quick here.
Yep, fair enough. It's all good.
I just ranked these albums like a couple months ago again too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, number 17. Nostradamus.
Yeah. Yeah. Understandable. Yeah.
16 would be trying to get this shit organized here. All right, number 6 would be, or 16, I mean, would be the debut album. Rockarola.
Oh, Rockarola, damn, yeah.
15 would be Point of Entry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 14 would be Jugulator. Yeah, Jugulator at 14. 13 would be probably Ram It Down. 13, number 12 would be gonna have to go with Redeemer of Souls for 12.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, number 11 would be Hellbent for Leather.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I can go over it again. I think some people know. Okay, I'll go over it again because I don't know if you were paying attention. My number 10 is Invincible Shield.
Oh, your number 10's Invincible Shield.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Number 10 for me would be... Okay, got it. Angel of Retribution.
My number 9, I don't know how high you have this one, but this one, it is what it is. My number 9 is Sad Wings of Destiny.
Ooh. Number 9 for me would be... Well, we're going to be a little controversial here now, aren't we? Number 9, British Steel.
Oh, that's my number 8, so we're not too far off. That's my number 8, British Steel.
So what, we're at 7 now?
Yeah, no, I'm at number 8.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, my number 8 would be... God damn, the rest of these albums I fucking love. Guess I'm going to go with Sin After Sin for number 8.
Ooh. My number 7 is Jugulator.
Number 7 for me is going to be Invincible Shield, the newest one.
Yeah. My number 6, Defenders of the Faith.
Number 6 for me would be... Man, this is work. It's fucking hard. All right, number 6, Firepower.
Nice. My number 5 is Demolition.
Top 5. All right, here we go. Damn. Having trouble between these two. Okay, we got it, people. Number 5. Screaming for Vengeance.
That is my number 4, Screaming for Vengeance. The only Priest album I own, by the way. Need to change that.
All right, number 4 for me is going to be Defenders of the Faith.
Nice. My number 3, Stained Class.
Okay. Number 3 for me, Sad Wings of Destiny.
That's pretty high. My number 2, Painkiller.
Jesus Christ, number 2. This was fucking number 1 for years. Painkiller number 2 also.
Oh, we have different number 1s. My number 1, Nostradamus.
Stained Class at number 1.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
I can't argue with that one. Stained Class is a fucking awesome album. Alrighty. Well, we come to the end. You got any final remarks about Judas Priest, since this is the final part of the Judas Priest deep dive?
Well, we got through it.
Yep.
Technically, there's another old Judas Priest thing we did 4 years ago on the channel.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I came in for a little bit, but I guess this is to make up because I wasn't in that one for that long. You had me Mental Mike with you in that one.
Yep, and Xavier joined in that one too.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, but I came in. I remember I came in for a couple of albums. I know I was going to come in for Sad Wings, and then I was originally going to come in for Screaming, but I didn't show up for Screaming. But then I came in and the other one for Painkiller and Nostradamus.
All right, so the next deep dive we're going to do, people, is Robert Fripp, King Crimson guitarist, all 1,200 albums that he was a part of. That's our next deep dive, people.
No, it's not. In all actuality, the next one that I know me and Ben are going to do, and it's at the end of May, finally, Black Sabbath Part 2.
Going to do Black Sabbath and going to do the Scorpions probably in July or August.
Yep, July, correct. July is when we'll do Scorpions. But I know for the fact that it's you, me, for Black Sabbath Part 2. Finally, we can get to... Yep. But yep, obviously, that's happening. I think for me, I got something before that. That's near the beginning of April. I mentioned Creed. I am doing a mini deep dive. I don't think anybody's going to do that, but fuck it, I'm doing that one. It's all... the Creed and Friends mini deep dive, which is all the bands that are, with the exception of Miles Kennedy solo, is all associated with Creed. I could have included Alter Bridge, but they have too many albums, and they don't fit into a mini deep dive, unfortunately.
I'm just gonna say, I think Frederick said he'd join you for Creed.
But yeah, I got nearly all of their stuff. So I got all of Miles Kennedy's stuff. I got only one of the Tremonti solo albums. I got almost all the Scott Stapp, and I got all the Creed. So they are the next band I'm going to be doing. That's at the beginning of May. And then obviously at the end of May, it is freaking Black Sabbath Part 2, which is the stuff, Heaven and Hell 213. So,
hell man, maybe Warhammer will join you for Creed too.
No, Creed. These guys, not Creed and Creed. Although I could do something for Creed and Clearwater Revival if they have enough for me to do a mini deep dive. How many albums do they have? They have to be under a mini deep dive would have to be no more than 6.
Creedence Clearwater Revival, I believe, had 7 albums.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to do them then they have too many. A mini deep dive I would have to be between one, have no like one and no more than 6. So unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to do a CCR. Sorry about that, Misanthropy, but I know you were in the chat and stuff like that. I was aware of your chats. Yes, I did see you in there in the chat, so it's all good in this case. But yes, that is.
Oh, Metal John, I'm gonna be right on that, buddy. I can't wait for that 5-finger death punch deep dive, buddy. Yeah!
Oh, the
Woohoo!
rate. Yeah, no.
Too loud.
No. You keep bullshitting about that. That ain't good. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think Ben's into the rap stuff. Unless I'm surprised. I would be surprised if he is.
Oh, I know who Two Live Crew is.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, that ain't gonna need to happen. But yeah, I think I got others in the works. I think I got a ranking. If I get the clearance from Kingdom Swords, one of his ranking videos will be. So yes, discography rankings will be back on the channel. At least in Kingdom Swords. With Kingdom Swords, I know he's gonna be on some mini deep dives and some deep dives. I do not know who that is. I'll have to look into them. Maybe. I'll have to look into them and who they are. But yep, that I think is all the stuff that's going to happen on my channel. I know, Ben, you got something that's coming up next week.
All right. Yes, here we go. Sunday, May 4th at 10 p.m. It's finally going to happen.
Yep. Let me comment. Let me highlight him. Yeah, this man right here.
Yeah, I'm just getting to that. Anyways, yes, we are going to have Warhammer 666 on the live chat for a couple hours. Yeah, it's going to be kind of like an interview, and it's just going to be us fucking bullshitting. You know.
Yep.
Yep,
I'll be there. I may not know much about Warhammer 666, but I'll be there just to hang out with him and maybe get to know him a little bit. But yes, Warhammer 666 is going to...
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to do this. After, a year?
Yep.
Yeah, may the 4th be with all you motherfuckers.
Yes, but yeah, that's
badass.
Yeah, that's coming. But yep, that's coming up. But I know there's other deep dives that are going to be happening. I got some plans in the works, obviously, with me and Ben. Obviously, we said Black Sabbath Part 2, Scorpions in July, so that gives me plenty of time to listen to them in May and June, and then most of July, obviously, to listen to them. It's like, finally, I get to talk about them.
And Rick, if you're still in the chat room, dude, I'm gonna have to get you on the channel sometime for something.
Yeah, obviously, I know I would love to have Rick on mine as well. It's just you got to figure out the band if you're still there, man. But yes, that is going to do it. This has been part 2 of the Judas Priest deep dive. This is all the stuff from Turbo to Invincible Shield. Obviously, thank y'all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, click the like button, or obviously, dislike whatever, float your boat on this. Comment below what your thoughts are on all these albums, whether you like them or you hate them. I know we like some of them, but I like some of them. I know we hate some of these albums, but it is what it is. And also, if you're new to the channel on both of ours, subscribe to both our channels. Obviously, subscribe to Metal Pens. Subscribe to mine. I'm fast approaching 300 subscribers.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
So yes, that's going to do it for us here. This has been, I guess, bookending the week with this. Part 1, I guess, with Judas Priest Deep Dive.
And I might see
maybe. They may be, that's a possibility, maybe. But we got a lot of metal bands that we got to do first before we can get to them. But
I might see some of yous here in just a little bit.
Yep. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if it's a hangout or if it's a radio show. But go and check him out and stuff like that. But yes, thank y'all for watching. This has been the Judas Priest Deep Dive. We will see you later. And as always, keep things metal.
Yeah. All right, we're out.
Peace, everyone.